Robert Colescott understood that the past is a malleable composition and that whoever paints it shapes it. That was the spur for his bold and subversive 1975 masterpiece, George Washington Carver Crossing the Delaware, page from an American history textbook. Colescott reimagined Emanuel Leutze's history painting, George Washington Crossing the Delaware, painted in 1851, one of the great iconic depictions of the American Revolutionary War. In his painting, however, Colescott replaced the future president at the prow of the boat with George Washington Carver. Carver was born into slavery in the 1860s and went on to become a pioneering agricultural scientist at the Tuskegee Institute, where he helped struggling sharecroppers. Surrounding Carver, Colescott paints a rowdy cast of black characters clearly informed by racist popular imagery. These figures include a cigar-smoking banjo player, a servile chef, an inebriated farmer, and a mammy figure. Unapologetic and brash, Colescott exposes the stereotypical portrayal of African American people in the nation's history, pejorative caricatures that had become ingrained in the public consciousness. Less recognizable is the story of George Washington Carver. But there is flip side to Colescott's vision, one that invites the audience to reevaluate Leutze's original picture. He turns a mirror on everything that underpins the image of American liberty and exceptionalism, asking why we fetishize this image, our understanding of which is as inaccurate as the stereotypical figures that Colescott inserts into the composition. What I did was to take something that is admirable, mess it up, and make you question everything that the artwork stood for, stated Colescott. It's about white perceptions of black people. It's the satire that kills the serpent. Born in California in 1925, Colescott was raised during the Great Depression. Both of his parents were musicians, and jazz would later inform their son's free-flowing, improvisational paintings. After serving in World War II in a segregated army, he studied at the University of California, Berkeley, where he immersed himself in European modernism. In post-war France, he painted alongside Fernand Léger, embracing the Frenchman's passion for chaotic configurations, and then, in the early 1960s, he studied and taught in Egypt, which again transformed his outlook and his art. Colescott discovered the possibilities of the palette, all of which he brought to the United States in the mid-1960s, back to a country roused by the civil rights movement. As the prevailing fashion for abstraction didn't offer Colescott the narrative scope he sought, especially as a black man living within the tinderbox atmosphere of the times, he turned to a new figurative style to explore his sensitive subject matter. George Washington Carver emerges from that ground-breaking moment. Acquired directly from John Berggruen Gallery in San Francisco in 1976, the work has remained in the same esteemed private Midwestern collection ever since, and has been a highlight of exhibitions at the Whitney Museum of American Art, the Seattle Art Museum, and the Jewish Museum in New York, among many other institutions. The painting was first shown on the 200th anniversary of the American Revolution, offering a sardonic sideswipe at American self-mythology. In vivid Technicolor pigments, it continues to question the absence of certain demographics from those revered narratives.